Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 6th of December. Let's before I look at the currency pairs, we'll take a look at what news events we've got coming up today. If you caught that, but that was loud. So today, let's just get rid of these. Okay, so today we've got the coming up. We haven't got that at all. That's all done. Let's get today, eh? That'll be good. I thought that looks all. We've seen all that. So, okay, seen some low-level stuff there. Not interested in any of that. We've got the Bank of Canada out later. We've got the ADP non-farms coming out. So we've got we've got Bank of England Governor speaking at 11 a.m., which is, there he is, press conference of financial stability. That's key this morning. Oh, there's some construction PMI data out at 9:30. I just missed there. Construction PMI data at 9:30. So that might create more volatility. And then we got the ADP non-farms. They're useful as a chocolate teapot. However, we do get quite a lot of swing around them at the moment, regardless of how rubbish they are compared to the data. They're supposed to give us a bit of an idea. But the thing is, I guess people would compare them with the previous ADP non-farm data results, and we've seen three sets of numbers coming out on those that have been negative in the last three results releases. So we could, that can create some volatility, and it's starting to step up the game a little bit there in creating noise and volatility within the market. Although whatever comes from that is often ignored quite soon afterwards. Anyway, and then we've got the Bank of Canada rate decision coming in there at 3 o'clock, so that's expected to be left as it is. The Canadian dollar has done a bit better recently. Again, I'll be looking at the statements here more so than anything else. Right, okay, that's pretty much it there. Let's look at these markets, and main focus today probably on the euro dollar. I'm looking at the euro, I say euro dollar, euro not necessarily euro dollar. We've seen the euro break down here. Yesterday I was talking about its potential support and bounce off its pivot there, but it just couldn't do anything. When you come down the time, or actually you just need to do it on here. If you come down the time frame, so you just go into an hourly time frame, and on this, using this monthly pivot, you see the bounce, and then final break there. Now I was looking for the bounce break, and well, that didn't happen, so I didn't get into that trade, that's for sure. That can get out the way. Where to next? Well, it does look soft. I mean, undoubtedly we're sort of looking. Let me just change charts now, and it's looking soft. It is into its quarterly pivot, so it's finding a bit of support on that now. But overall, lower highs, lower lows. It's got the chance of flicking up this morning. It's pre 8 o'clock here. Got a chance of running up to this pivot here. I would be looking for a break of this quarterly pivot, really. So looking for further breakdowns. I'll be looking at the volumes sitting around underneath that, but for now the euro does look soft. So I won't leave it there. Actually, I'm going to come across to some of the other pairs where it looks particularly soft, and this is the euro Aussie. And I don't overly like this pair often, but look, this has been in a decent downward trend on the Euro Aussie. We're just pulling back off again. It had its sort of moment of glory, but it just couldn't hold in there. And this to me looks, from a 4-hourly point of view, like a good semi-swing shout. It might take more than a day or so, but this at the moment is looking pretty decent. Need a decent stop on them. Don't have it too tight, but that looks okay. But got to wait until post 8 o'clock, probably about half 8, 8:45 sort of time, see what happens, let it run its time out. Euro CAD is another one of my sort of pairs that I trade quite a lot, and again it's, you see the weakness. In fact, come to the dailies and you see the weakness even clearer here. It broke that original decent upward trend, and currently looking pretty soft here. So Euro New Zealand, it's a wider spread. You need to put bigger stops on. We got caught. I got caught on too tight a stop, I guess. On this, it has been dancing around and pushing up a little bit more than I expected there. Anyway, that's also looking weak, but maybe needing a tad more of a stop on it if you're looking to run that way. But again, it still looks weak there. Anyway, they're the euro pairs, and I think the opportunity, maybe Euro Aussie, is breaking down at this moment, but you've got to be very careful. We do get switchbacks post 8 o'clock. Might not happen. Anyway, moving on to the pound. Well, the pound had this area of demand, which has been holding it since the 27th of November-ish time. But well, it might still. It's just broke through it a little bit yesterday. I didn't get too excited about it. I was actually quite frustrated in terms of I'd drawn some lines on some of these markets, and it was just sitting in between them. Yesterday I asked someone to give it a jog, and they obviously did. But we'll see what happens. I'm a hint more bullish on the pound than I am on the euro for sure. And that will actually, the euro pound might have an opportunity. There we go. Also, so it's just seeing this coming off further as well. So another euro pair. There's plenty to choose from there. It's just a matter of good timing after 8 o'clock. Okay. US dollar, yen. Not really overly loving this. It's holding more so than anything else. When you look at this, yesterday it spent most of its time holding, rolling back a bit at the moment, but all these the dollar's just slipping back at in this current hour at this stage. So don't be too drawn on that. Look at the bigger time frame. Yep, it's still sort of sitting there but holding. I'll steer clear of that at the moment. The Aussie's strengthening fractionally. It's coming off of, mentioned yesterday, the whole bundle of pivots that were sitting there, quarterly pivot, my pivot, yeah, it's catching a bounce from that area. Canadian dollar rolling over a little bit here. Now we could see a lot more strength coming in here. I was looking originally for a bit of a swing on this. It might still, my alert is still set below that pivot. That's where I'm sort of more interested in it. We could otherwise just find it bounce off the pivot and off it goes if we try and get in too early. So a few things there. Let's go and have a look at some different markets. Quick look at gold, because I know a lot of people follow gold. Well, gold came off into yesterday. We're seeing a little bit more. If you just look at this, it's just seeing a bit more of a bounce today. Just came short of the monthly pivot there, but it was last month it was the pivot that gave it the bounce. Now it's looking reasonable at the moment, but it's below its weekly pivot, and personally, knowing how good the underside of these pivots are at times, I'd rather wait until it was back above if I was looking for the long side. Crude oil, again still looking towards the downside here. It doesn't matter what the OPEC have said, it's giving it little up days, but largely still trending to the downside. However, not the cleanest of markets to trade at the moment. It just seems to be quite choppy intraday, and well, sometimes I just find it best to leave it alone, and I am currently finding it best to leave alone. S&Ps, just looking more here on the S&Ps. S&P's holding up. There's a lot of doomsayers out there suggesting that it's going to roll and whatever else, but maybe it's been overdone. I mentioned it yesterday. The comments are that it's possibly been overdone, but we had it for months, we had it for years where it was pushing up here, and everyone was saying how it's overdone, and well, it's still below the highs there. Maybe it could get a bit more done, but last month was a super month, one of the strongest for quite a while there. And personally, well, I'm looking at it now, and on this sort of weekly, daily point of view, bigger time frame, and it still looks like, well, yep, it's consolidating, but consolidating around its highs. Could have some further kicker there to come. The DAX, sorry I missed this yesterday, I was in a bit of a dash, but it's continuing to push up there quite solidly. There's this expectation that all the rhetoric around the euro, the hawkish rhetoric, is going to come off, and we're seeing a consequence of that. We're seeing the DAX pushing up. Be lucky to get in it at the moment. No, I'm not going to say just buy it, because that'll be, as soon as you do that, that'll be when you've marked the top. FTSE, on the other hand, is just really struggling here at this stage. As I said, we really need the quarrying and oil companies to start doing well, and then we could start seeing a push out on the FTSE. But it really is not going anywhere too much at the moment. You look at this weekly chart; it's a pig's ear. It really is awful looking chart. Monthly. Oh. Anyway, there we go. As I've looked at that enough, that's pretty much it for me today. Oh, I haven't looked at it for a couple of days. Been good on this, but Bitcoin. I've been loving watching Bitcoin pushing up here, and again, there's the fear greed sort of monitors you can see, and this is very greedy. It's showing that traders are very greedy and being greedy, showing the extremes of greed are pretty close at the moment. Hey, but it's still going up. There'll be a lot of people then start switching and start trying to sell this market. You know what it's like, and it's one of those markets that, well, like most markets actually, they can push on a lot further than most people can stay solvent. So whereas before people were it was coming down and people were trying to buy it and saying what great value it is, now they're sort of saying it's overbought, and yep, it could be, and it might well be, but the dollar's not had a great time, although recovering at the moment. But this is just pushing up at this stage. As I said, if you were in long on this after this break that we saw through, it's called yearly pivot, etc. It's well worth waiting to see what happens. But it's for me, it's still long. Right, okay, I'll leave it there. I wish you a great day's trading, and I'll catch you in tomorrow. Bye for now.